everybody. I've had a request for a 45-minute video, so this is my Christmas gift to you for 2022. It's a general level class, so there'll be challenging versions as well as the more easier versions. Most of you know which level you do in class, so just stick with that, listen to your body and enjoy. I've got my Christmas headpiece on, so I'm ready for action. Thank you, Diana, for my Christmas tree headpiece from Primark, I believe, and my first Christmas headgear actually, so I hope it stays on. So you need, to begin with, make sure you've got all your bits and bobs close by, your ball, your band, your pillow, anything else that you might need. We're going to start lying on the back, and we'll have the ball under the back by the tailbone. If you don't have a ball, just do it without the ball. So just carefully lift the hips. Allow the ball to come, bring the ball under so it's just by your tailbone in the centre. Allow the pelvis to take the full weight, allow the ball to take the full weight of the pelvis. Trying to relax in the pelvis and the front of the hips. The arms are by your side. And from here we're going to take a deep breath in through the nose. Breathing out, we zip, scoop, little pelvic tilt. That's all we're going to do. We're going to stay on the ball, don't lift away from the ball. And then breathing in, return to neutral. And again, lift the pelvic floor muscles. Scoop the navel to spine. A little pelvic tilt, keeping those hips square to ceiling. And breathing in, return to neutral. We do 3 more of those, keeping the hips square to the ceiling. Almost kind of pressing the lower back into the ball. And but trying not to tense on the hip flexors too much. We have 2 more. And we zip, scoop, hollowing in navel to spine. And breathing in, return to neutral. And 1 more. So this is a lovely little exercise if maybe we've been doing a lot of sitting around over Christmas and makes our back feel a little bit tight. So this is just a nice way to release in the lower back. So that's our 5. We're now going to take that ball away and place the ball at the back of the head. We might have got quite a lot of tension building up in the neck over the past few days. So let's just release the back of the neck. So now the ball is taking the full weight of the head. And we're going to breathe in to prepare, breathing out. Bring our chin down to chest. And then breathing in, just return to neutral, no further than that. And as we press the back of the head into the ball, we feel that nice stretch through the back of the neck. And breathing to return. And repeat just 3 more times. Careful when you bring your chin down to chest that nothing else happens in the lower back at all. That stays perfectly still. And breathing in, return to neutral. And 2 more. And return to neutral. And 1 more. And return to neutral. By all means, if you want to do another set and do 10 of those, that's absolutely fine. But we'll stop at 5 for now. And then take the ball away. If you need your pillow under your head for head alignment, place it there. Yeah, pillow. Did I say ball? I meant pillow. If you need your pillow for head alignment, place it there now. And the ball is going to be between the legs now. We just get the shoulders moving. Again, maybe we feel a little bit tight in the shoulders, so we just release those. Now, so we're going to reach the arms to the ceiling, palms are facing each other. And as we breathe in, we lift back of the shoulders just off the mat. And breathing out, return to the mat. The head head stays on the floor and the back of the neck stays nice and long. Sometimes when we lift the back of the shoulders off the mat, we tend to roll the head back. We don't want to do that. We want to keep the head correctly aligned in neutral with the ears over the shoulders. We just have 2 more of these and back onto the mat. Breathing in to lift the shoulders and breathing out, replacing back of shoulders onto the mat. Now we open the arms, breathing in to open. We return and the arms come to a wide V, so the arms are slightly wider than shoulder width apart. Then we're going to stretch the arms back, keeping back of the ribs on the mat. And breathing out, reaching to ceiling. So we're going to do 1 of each. Breathing in, open the arms out to the side, opening up the chest. And return to a wide V. Breathing in to stretch the arms back, keeping back of the ribs on the mat. And breathing out to return. 3 more of each. Breathing in to open the arms and the chest. And breathing out to return. Breathing in to stretch the arms back. And breathe out to return. 2 more of each. Breathing in to open. And return. And stretching back. And return. 1 more of each. Breathing in to open, nicely opening up chest as well as the arms. Return to the wide V. Arms reaching back, your spine stays in neutral. And breathing out to return. And now let's do 5 full circles with the arms back. Circle the arms out to the side and down. And reach up to ceiling. Now, if this is painful on shoulders, have your arms slightly bent and don't take those arms so far back. We have 3 more. Circle those arms out and down. And 2 more. Spine stays in neutral. So we're just encouraging plenty of movement in the shoulders without compensating with the body. That's our last one. We're going into full pelvic curl to open up the hips and work the back of the legs and the glutes a little bit now. So breathe in to prepare. Breathing out, we zip, scoop, little pelvic tilt. Push away from the floor with your arms as well as your feet. Squeeze your glutes to the top. Squeeze the balls slightly. Arms lift to the ceiling and roll down on the out breath, 1 vertebra at a time, so your tailbone is the last to come onto the mat. Breathe in on the out breath, not the head. Lift the head and the shoulders off, reach the fingers long and back down to the floor. Breathe in on the out breath, zip, scoop, pelvic tilt. Keep the back of the shoulders on the mat and keep the back of the neck nice and long. This time we're going to lift the arms, stretch the arms all the way back, circle those arms out, bring the arms down. Arms lift to the ceiling. Roll down smoothly, 1 vertebra at a time. Tailbone is the last to come onto the mat. Breathe in. On the out breath, arms push down, nod your head, lift the head and the shoulders off the mat. Keep scooping that navel to spine, no tucking with the pelvis, and back down to the floor. Breathe in. On the out breath, scoop, pelvic tilt. Peel away, keep those feet firm on the floor. Arms lift to the ceiling. This time stretch the arms back. Keep the arms stretched back. Roll down so we get a lovely stretch through the back as well as movement through the back. Tailbone last to come onto the mat. Arms lift on the in-breath. Breathing out, push down as the head and the shoulders lift. You're trying to reach to the other side of the room with your fingertips and back down to the floor. This time you're going to stretch your arms back. Oops, I need to wiggle down a bit. Kind of disappearing on my mat. So next time your arms are reaching back. Breathe in. On the out breath, scoop first. Any pain or discomfort in your back, have your arms by your side. Firm with the toes and the heels on the floor. Lift the arms up. Bring the arms down. Circle the arms out to the side. Stretch the arms back. And roll down through your upper back. Center the back. Tailbone last of all. Arms lift to the ceiling, breathe in. On the out breath, push down, head and shoulders lift, reach the arms long. Take hold of the ball and put the ball to one side. Head back down to the floor, stretch out the legs, stretch out the arms. Keep the back of the ribs on the mat. Walk your legs out of your hips. So plenty of stretch with the whole body as well as the legs and the arms. Now open the arms out to the side. Bring your arms down by your side. Bend your legs in. I'm going to do the foot lifts. Up, up, down, down. Keep the body nice and still. Keep the core strong. Breathe in. On the out breath, scoop first. Float your foot off the floor. Let's start with the foot nearest the screen. Breathe in. On the out breath, float the other leg off the floor. Breathe in, breathing out, and front leg comes down and the other leg follows. Breathe in, breathing out, back foot floats off the floor. Breathe in, breathing out, scooping deeper, other leg lifts. Breathe in, on the out breath, back leg comes down and the other leg follows. We do this 2 more times. Breathe in, breathing out, scooping first, lifting front leg. Breathe in, on the out breath, lift the other leg. Keep back of shoulders on the mat. Breathe in, breathing out. So no movement in your back, certainly not in your pelvis. Everything is nice and still. Breathe in. On the out breath, back foot lifts off. Breathe in, scooping deeper, other leg lifts. Breathe in, breathing out, back foot comes down. So you could imagine that you're balancing a glass of water on your tummy and it's not going to spill. It's perfectly stable because your pelvis and your back is not moving at all. Breathe in, breathing up, front leg comes down and the back leg comes down. Breathe in, on the out breath, scooping deeper, back leg lifts. Breathe in, scooping deeper, other leg lifts. Breathe in, breathing out, and back foot down, and the upper leg comes down. Good. Stretch out the legs, stretch out the arms, reaching out in opposite directions. Again, walk your legs out of the hips. Opening up the arms, bring your arms down by your side. Bend your legs in. We go back, now we go into the dead bugs. Breathe in, on the out breath, scoop the navel to spine. And one foot floats off the floor. Breathe in, on the out breath, other leg lifts off the floor. That's it. And the arms reach to ceiling. Dead bugs, keep the leg bent. And let's start with the leg nearest the screen. Opposite arm reaching back. And return. And the other side. So lovely little exercise to strengthen our core muscles. And again, nothing moves in the body, it's just the arm and the leg. We certainly don't want to arch the back when the leg goes down. If you find it's pulling on your back, to make sure your core muscles are correctly engaged. And if it's still pulling on your back, then don't take the legs so low. Let's have one more each side and return. And the other side. And return. Then we're going to place one foot to the floor and the other. Feet and the legs together, arms down by your side. Breathe in. On the out breath, scooping deep, little pelvic tilts. You're going to peel up about 3/4 of the way, so you're not coming up quite as high as you normally do. And we're going to do our little hip pulses, 5 sets of 10. Off we go, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, and 10, 9, 8. Keep squeezing the legs together, squeezing the glutes. Keep the core strong. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rolling down to the mat. Tailbone last of all, and just relax those glutes. Hopefully you felt that in the glutes. Whoops, I'm losing my headpiece. Hopefully you felt that in your glutes and the back of the legs a little bit as well, the hamstrings. Okay, we're going to take the feet hip width apart. So 2 options. We're going to do a pelvic curl again, and this time lifting 1 foot off the floor. Or you can do a heel lift instead. Actually, let's start with a heel lift, and then you can go into 1 foot off if you want to go there. All right, so make sure your heels are in line with your knees. Breathe in. On the out breath, scoop first, pelvic tilts, peel away from the mat, push away from the floor with your feet. Bend your arms so your elbows are in close to your waist, fingertips pointing to ceiling. Make sure you're not too high. You don't want to flare the ribs. The ribs are soft, but you're squeezing your glutes to keep your hips lifted. Breathe in. On the out breath, lift your front heel and down. And the other heel, lift and down. And a front heel down. The body doesn't move, it's just that heel lift. Option now to lift the foot off. Bring it down. You've got to keep those hips and shoulders nice and level. Make sure it's not pulling on your back. If it is, do the heel lift instead. Lift and down. Let's do 2 more each side. Lift and down. Keep super strong in your core. 1 more each side. And the other leg. Both feet stay on the floor. Arms lift to the ceiling. Palms are facing away from you. Lift both heels, keep centered on the feet, keep the heels lifted as high as you can. Roll down through your upper back, center the back, tailbone last of all. Your heels come down to the floor. Stretch the arms, stretch the legs in opposite directions. Walk your legs out of the hips a little bit. Open the arms out to the side. Bring your arms down by your side. Bend your legs in, and we'll go into the dead bugs next with leg extension. Okay? Breathe in. On the out breath, scoop the navel to spine. Lift 1 foot off the floor. Breathe in. On the out breath, other leg lifts. Now, if it pulls on the back, you can keep the leg bent as we did before. Okay, start with the leg nearest the screen. Leg goes down, arm goes back. Stretch the leg long, lengthening it out of the hip socket. Float the leg up, bend the leg in and return. And the other side down. Arm on the leg, reach out in opposite directions. Float the leg up, bend the leg in and return. 2 more each side. Stretch out long with the leg. Lift it up, bend the leg in and return. And the other side. Stretch the leg out, float the leg up and return. 1 more each side. Remember, if it pulls on the back, don't take the leg so low. or keep it bent, and make sure those core muscles are working the whole time. Stretch the arm and the leg away from each other. Float the leg up. Bend the leg in. Your legs come together, your arms out to the side for the spine twist. Option to keep your feet on the floor if it hurts your back or your hips. Roll towards the screen, breathing in. Breathing out, scoop the navel to spine, come back to center. Over the other side, breathing in. And breathing out, keep squeezing legs together. So we're trying to activate those waistline muscles now, the obliques. And breathing out, scooping deep. Think as though you're drawing a rainbow with your knees here. Over. We're certainly not aiming to get the legs to the floor. We want to keep the control, and we want to keep this work within our waistline muscles. And breathing out, and certainly not pulling on your back, and certainly not pulling on your legs. Last one, away from the screen, and coming back to center. Take the legs hip-width apart, place your hands just below the knees, lift the head and the shoulders off the mat, stretch out the leg nearest the screen, the other hand goes inside ankle, outside knee for single leg stretch. Option, you can do with your feet on the floor or your head on the floor. And off we go, just 8 each side. Lengthen that leg out of the hip socket. Now it's a nice and smooth extension of the leg. And we have 4 more each side. And 3. Keeping your center, 2. And 1. Bend your legs in, head back to the floor, feet to the floor, stretch out the arms and the legs. We want to get some movement in the back now with our roll up. So if you need your band, in fact, let's start. Arms out to the side, bend your legs in, roll onto your side, come to sitting position, and we'll start seated for our roll up. So if you need to have your band for support, have your band under your feet, or if you want your pillow by your tailbone, or if you want both, that's fine as well. Otherwise, arms are forward, feet are flexed, lift up and over the legs. Think of lifting front of the ribs into the back of your ribs. Breathe in, scooping deep, getting that nice C-shaped curve through your spine. Layering through your spine. 1 vertebra at a time. If you're not holding the band, your arms stretch back and your toes point. Lift the arms to ceiling, flex your feet, peel away. So your arms are hands are roughly level with your eyes. Yes, not too high, not too low, and not bouncing them around. Rolling back. Smoothly, keeping your center, stretch out the arms and the legs. Lift the arms, flex your feet. Peel away. Oh, I've lost my little headpiece again. And reaching over. And 3 more, going back. Remember to work the feet as you stretch your arms back. And arms lift, flex the feet. Hands are up eye level and reaching up and over. And again, rolling back. Point the toes, stretch the arms long and coming up and reaching up and over. And 1 more to go back. Point the toes, stretch the arms back and 1 more to return. And reaching up and over. Good. Then we're going to stay seated to do our spine twist seated. Now if this hurts your hips or your lower back, then you do it kneeling, okay? With your hands behind your head or your arms crossed in front. Otherwise we do the seated spine twist. Hands behind the head, Fingers linked, press the back of the head into the hands. You want to sit on top of the sit bones, not behind them, otherwise we don't get much movement. Elongate the spine, we'll get much more movement through your back. Breathe in. On the out breath, rotate towards the screen. And breathing in and come center. Keeping the ribs soft. Keep pressing the back of the head into the hands. And return. And again, think of growing taller as we turn. And breathing in, come center. And the other way. Making sure that we keep both legs the same length throughout. We don't want to be twisting the hips. We can tell if we're twisting the hips because we'll get one leg longer than the other, which we don't want. And one more the other way. And back to center. Then we'll get some movement through the back and recenter ourselves. We can do rolling like a ball. If you don't want to do rolling like a ball, do cat stretch instead. So bend your legs in. We'll do 7 of these. Lift the heels, lift the toes, tilt your pelvis, draw your armpits to waist and keep your forehead close to your thighs. And off we go for 7, roll back and return. Breathe in to roll back and return. And 5 more. Giving your back a nice little massage. And 3, keeping the hips square to your front and back. And return, and 1 more, and return. Feet to the floor, we're going to go onto hands and knees. So to neatly come onto hands and knees, we cross the legs, push with your hands onto the knees and uncross the legs. Into arm and leg extension with knee to floor. If it hurts your wrist, go onto your fists. If you don't want to be in this position at all, you can do it all lying on your back and doing the leg movement, okay? I'm just going to move that ball out of view so it's not confusing. So we want equal weight on the hands, knees and feet. We need to have our focus on stability of the body so we're not swaying on the hips or the knees. Okay, let's start with the leg nearest the screen and the opposite arm. Breathe in. On the out breath, your hand and foot slide along the floor. Lift the leg hip height, arm 45 degrees. Keep the arm still. Just your leg bends in. And breathing in, stretch it out. 4 more. Breathe out to bend the leg in. Breathe in to stretch out the leg. You can have that other hand on the floor if you're feeling a bit wobbly today. We have 2 more. So you want to imagine that that other knee is still on the floor. That will help us to keep centered in the body and will help us not to sink into that supporting side. Keep the leg lifted. Now place your hand to the floor, squeezing your glutes, use your core muscles strongly, and little circles with the leg. 10, 9, 8, 7. Very small little circle. 4, 3, 2, 1. Other way. 10, 9. Try not to wiggle in the hips. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then you're going to bend the leg in. Knee points down to the floor. Flex the foot. Sole of the foot facing ceiling. Make sure you're not collapsing in the body or the hips. And little pulse up. 4, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Push away from the floor with your hands. And now stretch out the leg. Point the toes. Take your foot down to the floor. Slide the leg in. Try not to wiggle around in the hips or the knees. Come up to kneeling position. Arms are forward. Circle the wrists. 5, 2, 1. Bring the arms down. Shoulder roll. 5, 2,
wider, feet together, arms behind, clasp your hands, reach the arms down as the chest opens and lifts up. And return. And then we repeat all that sequence on the other side with the other leg. Onto the hands and the knees. Shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees. Elongate that spine. And breathe in. On the out breath, your back foot slides along the floor and the opposite hand. Lengthen to lift, leg hip height, arm 45 degrees. Breathe in. On the out breath, bend the leg in. Till the knees are parallel, no further than that, because we want that spine to stay long. And there's hardly any movement. We don't really want movement in the back. It's the leg that's moving. The core work is being challenged here. And as before, if you're feeling a little bit wobbly today, you can do all of this with both hands on the floor. And we have one more. Stretch the leg out. Hand to the floor. Little circles, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep the body nice and still, particularly the hips. 3, 2, 1. Other way, 10, 9. Think of lengthening right through to the tips of the toes. And it's a small circling. We want to keep the hips stable, pelvis stable. And 3, 1. Keep the leg still. Bend the leg in. Flex the foot. So your thigh is parallel to the floor. And the sole of the foot is parallel to ceiling. Little pulse for 20. And we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Whoops, wasn't very good with my leg. It should be more bent in. 3, 2, 1, and stretch the leg out now. Point the toes. Take the foot down to the floor. Bring the leg in without disturbing hips or knees. Then open your knees wider. Sit back so your feet together, knees apart. Stretch out the arms, stretch out the back. And have a little sway the hips from side to side. Come to center. Sit back on your heels. Roll up through the spine. And lifting up the head last of all. We're going to line our side now to do oyster arm and chalk circle. Pillow under the head. I just need to quickly check. Oh, no, it's okay. Sorry, I thought a message had come up. I didn't want it to stop recording. So, lying on your side, your spine is parallel with the edge of the mat. Your hips are stacked, little space between the waist and the mat. Arms are forward, so you want your knees just below hip line and heels just roughly in line with your tailbone. And we lift the front arm up on the in-breath. Open the chest to ceiling, keep the bottom leg on the floor. And then we lift it up and close. And again, breathe in to lift. Open the chest to ceiling. And lift. And close. We have 3 more. So bottom leg stays on the floor. The legs squeeze together always. And lift. And close. The arm stays very slightly bent. Open the chest to ceiling. And lift. And 1 more. And lift. And close. And then we do the chalk circle 5 times. Circle the arm above the head. Now if this feels uncomfortable on shoulder or neck, then stay with the oyster arm. And again. And 3 more.
of you, I know, you will know the version where we have top knee to floor, bottom leg straight. That's another option that you can do. You can also add a little hand weight, a light hand weight. It will just open up the chest a little bit more. So that was number 5. And then, if it feels okay on your back, we're going to do half a circle. And then stay there with the arms reaching out and extend that top leg. Flex the foot. Take the foot down to the floor so the inside of the foot is on the floor. Stretch out a little bit more. Open the arms. So it's just a little stretch for the back of the leg. Point the toes. Bend the leg in. Continue to that. Circle the arm down and round to start position. Good. We now do the other side. So we take the head up the other end. Align your spine with the back edge of the mat. And we have the hips stacked, space between the waist and the mat. Knees just below your hip line, heels just in front of your tailbone, arms are forward. Breathe in to lift. Open the chest and lots of upper body rotation. And then we're lifting up and close. And again, lift up on the in-breath. Open the chest to ceiling. As much rotation as we can in the upper body. It's not about how far we're opening the arm. The arm goes with the body. So we support the arm from the centre of the back. But the more we rotate the body, the more the arm will follow and open up as well. And lift. And one more. And lift. And then we're going to do the chalk circle or stay with the oyster arms. If it's too much, too uncomfortable on shoulder or neck, then you stay with the oyster arm. And 4 more of these. Keep the bottom leg on the floor. Keep both legs squeezing together. And 3 more. Some of you might be having the top knee to floor and the bottom leg straight, as I mentioned on the first side. That's absolutely fine. And 2 more. And 1 more. Such a nice exercise to do to open up the chest. So again, we've been sitting for too long. Now we're going to do our half a chalk circle. We'll keep the arms stretching out to the side and lift the top leg, extend the leg, flex the foot. Place that inside foot down to the floor. Keep reaching out in opposite directions and get that good rotation in the body. Oops, I've lost my pillow. The stretching of the back of the leg as well. And then point the toes. Bend your leg in and complete the circle with the arm down and back to start position. Good. So it's always nice to follow chest opening work with back extension work. By opening up the chest, the back muscles will be able to work more efficiently. So we're going to start with the dart. If you want little hand weights, you can use little hand weights. We've got our forehead resting on a pillow or not, whichever you prefer. Your arms, I don't normally have the pillow, so I'll do it without. Arms are by your side, your legs slightly apart, centered on your pelvis, centered on your feet, and on your forehead as well. Breathe in. On the out breath, lift the head
chest. Reach your arms long, reach your legs long. You're pressing into the floor with your feet. So that fires up the back of the legs and your glutes. And breathe in to come down. 4 more. Breathing out, lengthen to lift. And breathe in to come down. Breathing out, stretch the arms, stretch the legs, scoop the navel to spine. And breathe in to come down. And again, breathing out. Open up those shoulders wide. And breathing to come down. And 1 more. Lift. Reach the arms long. This time you're going to reach the arms out to the side. Palms down to the floor. Bend your arms. And down to the floor. Ready for the swan dive prep? Breathe in. So your hands are level with your ears. Breathe in. On the out breath. Elongate the spine. Lift the head. The chest. Establish your shoulder stability. Shoulder blades in your back pockets. Keep them there. As you come up higher is an option, or you stay on your elbows. And then roll down through the front of the hips, the abdominals, the elbows, the ribs, the chest, the head. Breathe in. On the out breath, elongate that spine. Peeling off the mat. You've got that V shape with your shoulder blades. Your shoulders stay down. Lovely stretch for the front of the body if you're coming all the way up. And roll down through the front of the hips, the abdominals, the elbows, the ribs, the chest, the head. Let's do 1 more. Breathe in. On the out breath, elongate that spine. V shape with your shoulder blades. Staying on the elbows or coming all the way up. Keep scooping navel to spine. So you have that control. Roll down through the front of the hips and the abdominals, the elbows, the ribs, the chest, and the head last of all. Come up onto the knees, into the rest position. Knees wide, feet together. Sit back, stretch the arms, stretch the back. Little sway the hips from side to side. Come to center, sit back on your heels, roll up through the spine. Lift the head last of all and facing your screen again, lying on your side to do forward and back kick. Different options. We can stay lying on our side with just the top leg straight, bottom leg bent. Or we can come up onto the, lifting the underneath side. We don't want to be right on the tip of the elbow. We're more thinking about working this side, contracting this side. So that's the side of the body lifting. Or we can have the bottom leg forward as well. Need to get a little bit up this way. Or otherwise, both legs are straight. And we're on that elbow still, okay? Need to get my elbow on the mat there. So those are the 3 options. Choose which option, or you might want to mix it up. We're going to do 4, and then we're going to place the other hand behind the head and do 4 more. So the first 4 hand is on the mat. Lengthen that spine, scoop that navel to spine. Lift on that supporting side so we're not collapsing into the shoulder, yes? Look after our shoulder. And breathe in on the out breath. 2 pulses forward. Point the toes. Stretch that leg back. And 2 pulses forward. Stretch the leg back. We don't want to roll around on the ribs or the hips. The upper body is stable. This one, take it back. Hold it there. Now take it to the side. Flex the foot. Other hand goes behind the head. Keep lifting on that supporting side. And 4 more. Forward, forward. Point the toes, sweep back. And forward, forward. And sweep back. And forward, forward. And see how far you can go back with that leg.
but not overarching the lower back, not flaring the ribs. And one more. And that might have been 5 actually, I'm not sure. Bring the legs together and down. Then you're going to come up and over onto the other side, yes? So onto the other side. So the options are lie on the side and bottom leg bent, top leg straight, or hand behind the head, lift on this side, or both legs are straight, bottom leg is forward, turned out, heel lifted, so you're pushing away from the floor with that supporting foot. Top leg is in line with your hip. Lift on the supporting side, foot is flexed, breathe in, and 2 pulses forward, point the toes, stretch back, opening up front of hip, and 2 pulses forward, and sweeping back. And you need to anchor that supporting leg or the foot to the floor. And 1 more of these, and back. Take that leg out to the side, other hand goes behind the head, elbow points to ceiling, flex the foot. Breathe in, and 2 pulses forward, and point the toes, sweep it back. So we don't want the upper body to be rolling around or moving. That's absolutely stable to allow plenty of movement in the leg. And stretch it back, I think that was 4 there. And then bring the legs together, place the hand down, and coming up. Okay, we'll do a little side stretch. So we can do the mermaid. If this is uncomfortable for knees, have your knees wider, or you can do it kneeling up, or you can do it standing, okay? Otherwise, with the mermaid, the body's upright, and the right arm, your right arm, lifts up, over to the side, so that beautiful stretch up the side of the body, and we're lifting up, and bring it down. And again, lift up, framing the face with your arm, and lift, and down. 2 more, lift, and over, reach beyond your fingertips, and lift, and down. Last time, and lift, over, reach a little bit more, and lift, and down. Switch sides, we do the other side. Nice and tall with the body. Even here, strong core, so we're not collapsing. Elongate the spine. And arm lifts up tall. Frame the face with your arm. Lovely stretch for those waistline muscles, the obliques. And the arm comes down. Always think about going up first before we go over. Then we get a better quality side stretch rather than missing out this upward stretch, yes? And over, reach beyond the fingertips and lift up and down. Last 2 and lift. We reach over and lifting up and down. Last time, stretch up, over, reach a little bit more, and lift, and down. Okay, then we're going to stretch out the glutes. So bring the leg over to the front, anchor your right sit bone to the floor, and this foot here wants to be nice and firm on the floor as well, and reach the arms out to the side. Now, this isn't going to suit everybody's knees or hips, so you can lie on the back. I'll just quickly demonstrate. Lying on the back is this one, number 4 stretch we call it, where you have one arm between the legs and the other arm goes around the outside of the leg, and your hands are clasped underneath your bottom leg. So that's another version of glute stretch. Or we're doing the seated version, and
but we've got to stay with both sit bones on the floor, and then we bring one arm, it wraps around the leg, the body spirals around, we grow taller, so we really feel that nice deep stretch in the glutes. Same if you're doing it lying down, you want to feel it right deep in those glutes. And seated version, we always want to think about that lengthening of the spine, almost as though we're separating out the vertebra there. And then we turn around facing front. If you want a little extra stretch, you can unfold the leg to the front, flex the foot. I'll just show you side on a little bit. So you want your back to be nicely lifted. You don't want to be collapsing into the shoulders or the hips. Lift up out of shoulders and hips. Think of bringing that leg close to the chest. Point the toes. Bend the leg in. You could hold it for longer, but we're now going to go on to the other side. So placing now your left foot across or lie on your back and change legs. Anchor your left sit bone to the floor and keep this foot nice and firm on the floor. Arms are reaching out wide and your arm wraps around the leg. Your body spirals around. You're growing taller. Push away from the floor with your hand. That's good. And again, try and bring the top of your head closer to ceiling. You can push away from the floor with that hand that's on the floor behind you to grow a little bit taller. And enjoy that deep stretch for the glutes. Slowly unwind. And option to take hold of this leg and unfold the leg in front of you. Imagine that your back is against the wall, so you can't push into the wall. You've got to keep lifted, you're just lightly against the wall. Flex the foot, bring the leg a little bit closer, keep the shoulders down, and find that nice stretch. You can always do this lying on your back as well if you want a bit more support there. And also hold it for longer if you want to. And bring the leg down. We're now going to go on to the hands and the knees for our little hip circles. Shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees, equal weight on your hands, knees and feet. Scoop the navel to spine and circle the pelvis. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and circle the other way. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're back to our center. Curl the toes under. Two options. You can go into the down stretch, reach the heels to the floor, tailbone to ceiling, chest close to the legs, scoop the navel to spine so your chest comes closer to legs. As most of you know, if you have high blood pressure, you come to standing and you do the calf stretch standing. Otherwise, you've got this stretch here, or also if it's uncomfortable for your head, if it doesn't feel right, do the calf stretch standing. And then when you felt that stretch through the legs, through your back, through your shoulders, your arms, you then walk your hands towards your feet. Bend your knees, relax your head, relax your arms. And then you're going to go back onto the hands and the knees. So if you were standing calf stretch, come back to hands and knees. We're going to do a simple cat stretch. Breathe in. On the out breath, scoop the navel to spine into the C-shaped curve. And breathing in, return just to neutral. We're not going the other way. And just 2 more of these. And back to neutral. And 1 more. Opening up the back and breathing in back to neutral. And then come to sitting position. Whichever position is comfortable for you, cross legs or open the legs or kneeling.
Open the arms out, reaching up, link your fingers, stretch up to ceiling, nice and tall. Opening out the arms, circle the wrists. The arms come down, we stay sitting nice and tall, and then relax the shoulders. Little shoulder roll for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release down, turning the head one way, and look straight ahead. Turn the head the other way, not the shoulders, just the head. And look straight ahead. Bring both arms forward. Place the hands on the back of the head, elbows forward. Roll the chin gently down to chest. Retract your chin into neck. And just feel a nice gentle stretch on the back of the neck, as we did when we were starting with the head on the ball at the beginning of our session. And then carefully lifting the head, take the arms away, rest your arms on the legs, and 3 deep breaths in through the nose. Expand the ribs wide, and breathing out through the mouth. And again, deep breath in through the nose, expanding the ribs wide, breathing out, relax the mouth, the lips, until there's no breath left in the lungs, and then you're ready to take a deep inhalation again. And breathing out through the mouth. And that's the finish of our Pilates session for Christmas 2022. I hope you have a lovely Christmas, or have had a lovely Christmas, and a very happy new year. And thank you for joining me, and well done. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give me a call, or text me, or email me. And or if there are any requests, do let me know your requests. Okay, hope to see you again soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.